you can take the podium.
Thank you, House Chair, or Chairperson. The role of science and technology, in particular research and development, is the industrialization and betterment of society. Highly industrialized countries have used science and technology to drive industry in addressing the country's challenges. The Chinese government has placed emphasis through funding, reform, and societal status on science and technology as a fundamental part of socio-economic development of the country, as well as for national prestige. China has made rapid advances in areas such as education, infrastructure, high-tech manufacturing, academic publishing, patents, and commercial applications, and is now in some areas, and by some measures, a world leader. China is now increasingly targeting indigenous innovation and aims to reform remaining weaknesses. Cuba, despite continued sanctions, is able to function almost independently because of the proper use of science and technology, but more importantly, the leadership within science and technology. We've got Bra Blade and Bra Boetie. But let's look at South Africa. Failure by the ruling party to reconfigure research institutions post-1994 has resulted in these institutions continuing to operate in silos and playing no role in the reduction of unemployment and inequality. But also science and technology is deemed as elitist, with very little accountability to the ruling party. If it wasn't elitist, our focus would have been on issues which affects the poor masses in this country: provision of decent water and sanitation, the harnessing of renewable energy, where implementation would be driven by a capable and capacitated state. Minister Nzimande spoke of the square kilometre array. It is in the Northern Cape, yes, but the global headquarters are in the UK. This headquarters will ultimately be the owners of any intellectual property emanating from the square kilometre array. But I'm not surprised by the minister's lack of understanding of things that really matter. UKZN is burning, and there are serious allegations that a security service provider is responsible for the problems on UKZN's campuses. It is poor students that are being given the blame. And Minister, and you are here sitting and speaking about the square kilometre array. The purpose of this bill focuses on the need to harmonize the entities within science and technology, but the bill and these institutions are operating within a policy framework that prioritizes research for selfish interest and greed. Harmonization was already recommended in the 4th Parliament, and this House considered the First Amendment Bill in 2011. In 2014, April, a Second Amendment Bill was considered. Essentially, the Second Amendment Bill proposed the harmonization of processes, which included the appointment of chairpersons and members of boards of science and technology entities, the qualifications of board members, and the dissolution of boards. But what is laughable is amendment of Section 5 of Act 26 of 2008. Paragraph 8 says, the board must be constituted in a manner that is broadly representative of the demographics of the country. South Africa is the only country where the government must make laws to empower the majority group of its citizens, black people. In other countries, the government makes laws to empower minority groups. That's how weak we are as a democracy in a country. The current bill was proposed in the 5th Parliament, but Parliament rose before the bill could be considered. The current committee constitutes none of the ANC members of the 5th Parliament. You've just replaced all of them. No continuity. The research and development budget has declined, and there has been a loss of critical scientific skills. This department does not have a plan to ensure that Industry 4.0 does not lead to greater inequality between the working class and those who continue to enjoy their historical advantages. Although aspects of the bill is a step in the right direction, Much more is required before the real benefit of science and technology will be realized. The EFF rejects this bill. Thank you very much.
Thokoze mhlonishwa Nqobo.